105 years ago, Monsignor Robert Hugh Benson wrote a novel called The Lord of the World. The novel deals with the rise of the Antichrist. He is a man in the novel who comes from the United States of America but is famous throughout Europe and indeed the whole world. The Antichrist's one ability is the ability to speak well, and people who've never seen him before weep at the opportunity to hear the Antichrist speak. After gaining power throughout the world, the Antichrist finally turns his attention at the end of the novel towards the destruction of the Catholic Church. I mention this because the Pope in the novel issues an interesting call. He doesn't issue a call to arms and to war, but instead challenges and invites all Catholics to return to holiness, to become more like saints in order to fight the rising evil. In 2013, in real life, the Catholic Church is actually in the real world under attack from many different directions. And like the Pope in the novel The Lord of the World, our bishops have issued a similar invitation to all Catholics in the United States. They have issued a 5-part plan. The first part of that plan is to experience and offer adoration at every Catholic church on the last Sunday of the month. The second thing that our bishops have asked us to do is to enter into and engage in a rosary and daily prayer with our families. The third thing that our bishops have asked us to do is to participate in a Fortnight for Freedom this summer. Fourthly, our bishops have asked us to include special intentions at our Masses every Sunday. And finally, probably the most radical of all of them, the bishops have asked all Catholics in the United States to fast every Friday this year. Not just to abstain from meat, but to enter into that same fast that we normally participate in on Good Friday and Ash Wednesday. Just like past ages in the Catholic Church, this is a very radical step, but it is how the Church has always responded to persecution and violence and threats from without. Not first and foremost an attack against the enemies of our Church, but first and foremost a call and a return to holiness and an acceptance of that invitation to become saints. Now, some will say this talk of good and evil and there being two sides is too confrontational. But just like Noah, when he was building his ark, as he continued to call to his neighbors and ask them to reconsider and to see what was really going on, we too call to our enemies and those who hate us and seek to invite them to experience conversion and a return to love. But in the days of Noah, at some point, the door of the ark was sealed, and there was now finally then two sides. And so we too know that at some point in our world, the door will be sealed, and there will be two sides, those of love and those of hate. And so we say and turn to those who would seek to destroy the Catholic Church, be warned. You take your place in a long line of people throughout the history of the world, many other lords of the world, many people who have sought to do exactly what it is that you now seek to do. And their bodies lie now in earthen graves, while the ark of the Church continues to sail on toward eternity, that eternity of heaven, where every tear will be wiped away and every joy will be finally manifested and made whole. We offer now an invitation to all Catholics and all people of goodwill everywhere. We invite you to return to holiness. We invite you and all of us as Catholics and people of goodwill to put on the armor of love, to fast, to pray, to return to the sacraments once again, to experience the power of the confessional, to pray for our enemies, and to give up those things that we hold dear so that we may one day embrace the greater gifts of heaven. And finally, we end tonight with the prayer that has buckled the knees and sent fear coursing through the veins of all the enemies of the Catholic Church. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. May he cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. And please know, all enemies of the Catholic Church, here comes the Catholic Church.